First was September was Lisbon, and then was Berlin. And I was with my girlfriend in these 3 weeks. In these three weeks in between, the relationship got even worse. Like every week we just saw us, and like only on weekends I felt like the connection between us was falling, like really falling. So with my ex-girlfriend, I did a road trip in Sweden and Norway in August. We did like a 2-week vacation. That was also the time when we had like problems together, like the first real problems. And we went like road tripping for 2 weeks. And because we had struggled together before the vacation, we had it in the vacation. And it was like one of the worst vacation, when not the worst vacation I had in my life. Because imagine you were road tripping with a car, 2-person, driving 5 to 8 hours a day, and you either don't talk at all or you're just arguing with each other. And it was like so uncomfortable all the time. I was like, the first week was so terrible. The second week was a bit better with all that, but in the last 4 days when we were or the last 3 days when we were in Stockholm before we were going back to Switzerland, those were good. They were great, and I felt like we going to get back together. Like the relationship is getting better. And at the time we had it worse, I was writing or texting with a girl I met on Tinder, but it was like, it's like at that time I felt terrible. Every night in the vacation I was writing with her because I needed some kind of, I need to take off the pressure for just a little bit, because I don't know, I was writing with friends and family, but I felt also I have to write with somebody I didn't know, because it's like that pressure. You can't get out of that country or that road trip. It takes you a lot of energy. And I met this girl the first time after we came back from the road trip. My ex-girlfriend and I were taking a break from each other for 1 week, and that's that time when I started dating that other girl. And I know that cheating is something terrible, and at the end of all this, why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to decide for myself if it's going to work or not, and not just like fading it out and looking for the next one. So I know that what I did was wrong. I know that cheating is so wrong, and so, I don't know, it's like trying to find the easiest solution and minding the bigger problems. But yeah, I was dating her, and we also kissed and all that stuff, but we didn't have sex, even though I really wanted. I don't know, I am a curious person, so I was really like curious how it's going to be, but she didn't want to. And yeah, it's like, it was frustrating. So I'm actually in the office doing this episode, so I have to switch the room because my coworker's just coming in, and so it might sound a bit different. Yeah, where was I? My relationship. So after those 3 weeks, when I realized that the relationship is falling, I was I don't know, it's like you just feel that it's going to be over soon. And after the 3rd week we were together, I knew it's gonna be over sooner or later. And that was like the last time I saw her. And after that 3rd weekend, I was going to travel to Berlin for a for a personal development seminar, and I took that one friend with me which I met in Barcelona. And yeah, I had a hell of a ride to go there because I took the night train from Switzerland. Like, my plan was to take the night train from Switzerland to Berlin, and at that time there was like a heavy storm somewhere in Germany, which they cancelled the ride with the night train. So I realized that I have to switch trains for about 6 or 7 times in the middle of the night. And I was going to the information center to ask where I have to take the next trains, and got like a check where I can see where I have to change the train. And yeah, it's like I had one hell of a ride, and I told that to my ex-girlfriend then, or to my girlfriend then, and she didn't care about it. It's like, it's like that moment when you send like something important to your girlfriend and she didn't even react to it. I was like, man, that's like a hard punch in your nuts. And yeah, it's like I was very tired, very exhausted about the travel, and I arrived on a Saturday like on 1 p.m. and it's like I had over 12 plus 4. It's like 16 hours of traveling from Switzerland to Berlin. It's like I started at 9 p.m. and I arrived at I started at 9 a.m. Oh, bullshit. 9 p.m. and I arrived at 1 p.m. So I was very tired. And then I worked for another like 8 hours at that event. I was helping out. I was checking the tickets. I was looking to help out and that stuff. And after that there was an after party. And I was going first at home to, I don't know, take a shower and relax and stuff. And then I came out going to that party with my friend. And at that party there was another girl I knew from the other events before. She was also doing like independent working and self-improvement stuff. And I felt like she kind of liked me. So I was like curious like how this is going to work at that party. And I know just like kind of bad behavior, like all that cheating stuff, but yeah, it's like at that moment when you just feel like your relationship is going to break, it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's like not much of cheating there actually. So I went at that party with my friend and we drank, and I was very like quiet because I was so tired, and my friend is getting like very active the more alcohol he was drinking, and everybody was having a good time. And then this girl was coming over to me or to us with my friend, and we're talking like together and having fun and stuff. And then when she went to the toilet, I told my friend like, I don't know, I didn't mean that serious, but I was like, hey, what's about having a threesome together? It's like more like fun. But my friend didn't take it like as a joke. He was like, Marvin, are you really want to have a threesome with that girl? And I was like, yeah, why not? And that was that moment when he showed his real self, like he was a total different person. And he was like seducing and gaming that girl, even though she was first interested in me and was like, like touching me and all that stuff. It turns back that he's getting all that and was like even less confident the more he was gaming her. And it was like, yeah, it escalated very quick. We were at the bar and it was like 2 levels, and we went in the upper level. This was like a living room, like with many different rooms, and we were at that one room where there was couches. And I just realized at that moment when he gamed her like like touching and then escalating to kissing and then even more touching in like the private zones, and was like, man, what am I doing here? It's like I was sitting there and I saw that guy. He's gaming her, like she was so into him, and I was sitting there like, you have a girlfriend who has no interest in you. I had another girl I was like texting who didn't want any sexual activities with you. And you had that one girl who was totally into you until your friend was starting to gaming her. Was like, I realized that I had like no control over anything, like over women at all. And I realized that after so many ex-girlfriends I had, that I have to change myself as a person to not dominating women, or like not to treat them like slaves, but to really being purposeful and mindful with what I'm doing, and always being like at the cause, and always be at the control. Like my goal was, or is actually, that I won't let anybody change those things I don't want to be changed. Like there are exceptions, and this is okay. So, but I knew I have to change myself to be more purposeful. So yeah, that's why I was starting this podcast, because I knew that I have to do pickup, or I have to approach women and doing my experiences here and there, and also for the fun actually though. But I knew I have to improve me as a person, going out and conquer fear, or conquer the anxiety of approaching or rejections or whatever, and building also relationship with people which are as I want. Not like I had relationship where I wasn't like 100% into it, like really like this is what I want and that's my goal. I want to have like the opportunity to meet a lot of women and decide for myself which one I like to stay in my life, and not just to have it so I can call it like my girlfriend. And so this is the main reason why I'm doing this podcast. And yeah, that's like I'm talking here about every experiences I do. I'm doing like approaches and I'm going out clubbing and all that stuff. And yeah, I was coming back from Berlin with realization that I have to change myself after that experience I had back in Berlin. I realized I wasn't sure if I'm going to recover the relationship I had with my ex-girlfriend, but I knew I have to change it. Like I have to do pickup or day game or whatever, like getting good with girls. But just like I was then focused just to have like good conversation building, and I don't know, like overcome my fear and comfort zone crushing. I felt like this is going to help me recovering the relationship I had. But I didn't get it that far though, because I was coming back from Berlin and I had like no contact with my girlfriend at all for 1 week. And then after that week, I was texting her that I miss her and I really want to see her, because I'm more like a guy who's trying to fight to recover or rebuild the relationship instead of just cut it or break it down. But after a few days later, I got this message from her. It was like